First, Hollywood, then Taylor Sheridan came calling, making Luke Grimes a star. Now, with the premiere of his own series and a new country album, his career looks to be headed for new heights. Luke Grimes is no Hollywood nepo baby. He grew up in Dayton, Ohio, but somehow he still caught the acting bug. In an interview with The Independent, he recalled, "Before I had teeth, I always said I was going to be a movie star, but there was nothing I could do about that in Ohio." Grimes' father was a Pentecostal pastor who made sure his son went to church, where Grimes learned a lot about music, saying, "There's live music every week." Church music inspired his creative side. Grimes shared, "Music became this thing I could do alone in my basement and get better and better and better at."
I started playing drums when I was a kid in church, and turns out it's pretty hard to have a drum set in New York City. Your neighbors.
In fact, he thinks growing up in a small town made him a better musician because there weren't a lot of things to distract him from practice. He told Mr. Feelgood, "There wasn't much to do in Ohio except for sit around and try to get good at stuff, which I appreciate now." When Grimes told his parents that he wanted to be an actor, they were supportive. Speaking with As If, Grimes explained, "Once my family understood how serious I was about acting, they did what they could to send me to acting school in New York. Those schools are expensive, but the American Academy of Dramatic Arts, or AADA, was more affordable. That being said, it still wasn't cheap, and Grimes' parents could barely afford the tuition, so they took out a second mortgage on their house. For Grimes, this meant that the pressure was seriously on. He recalled, "My parents sacrificed a lot to send me to school, and I think that changed my trajectory. Otherwise, I would have gotten to LA without an eye for the material and probably would have taken whatever project I could to make money." Instead, Grimes began his career playing the love interest in small productions before landing a recurring role on True Blood.
"I'm a vampire, not a rapist."
In 2014, Grimes was finally cast in a major role in American Sniper, a major Hollywood film that told the story of several real-life Navy SEALs. Grimes was set to play Mark Lee, the first SEAL to die in the Iraq War, at least the first one that we know of. Speaking to Warner Brothers about the role post-filming, he mused, "I think the main challenge with this part is just to, honor the real people that we're playing, and just kind of knowing that a lot of their friends and family are probably going to watch this movie, and you just hope that maybe there is a shred of them in there." As much effort as Grimes dedicated to his work on the film, though, he couldn't avoid the controversy surrounding the movie. His character's real-life widow was less than pleased about the way her late husband was portrayed in the script. In an opinion piece published by Fox News, widow Maya Elbaum broke down the ways the film misrepresented her late husband, writing, "The movie portrays Mark as a reluctant warrior, one who seems casual in combat, who questions America's mission in Iraq. Nothing could be further from the truth." American Sniper was just the beginning of Grimes' Hollywood career. Next, he was cast in 50 Shades of Grey. He played Christian Grey's brother, Elliot, and made the role his own. But Grimes wasn't drawn to the part at first. The books were famously steamy and hugely successful, but the actors' salaries were surprisingly low. In a behind-the-scenes interview, Grimes said, "I understand why people would have fear about being a part of the film version of this story. Obviously, when there's just words on paper, and it's in a book, it's one thing. But when you're having to really make it real for people, it's completely different." Ultimately, it was film director Sam Taylor Johnson who convinced Grimes to take the part. He recalled, "I feel like that fear in me sort of went away when I met Sam. I just saw that it was going to be tasteful and well done."
When you're a little boy and you want to be an actor, what are some things you want to play? A cowboy? A soldier?
After filming 2 huge Hollywood movies, all eyes were on Grimes, and he was fielding more opportunities than ever. Major industry players, like filmmaker Taylor Sheridan, were watching. And when Sheridan began creating the television show Yellowstone, he couldn't help but think of Grimes in the role of another Navy SEAL, Casey Dutton. As Grimes would later tell The Hollywood Reporter, the correlation between Casey being a Navy SEAL and then seeing me do that on American Sniper, I think clued him in that maybe I could play a role like that.
There's monsters everywhere in this world. You just gotta kill them when you find them.
Yellowstone ended up changing Grimes' life. He played Casey for 5 seasons and felt like he'd really found his footing in the entertainment industry. That being said, he didn't always love his character. Telling Men's Health, deep down, he's a really good, pure soul, but the indecisiveness is incredibly frustrating for him and the people around him.
I've been nothing but a friend to everybody here. If somebody wants me to leave, you can tell them to come make me.
Embodying Casey's constant emotional battles was challenging for Grimes, even though he did a great job of it. He admitted, "I don't feel like that as a person at all." In 2018, Grimes married Bianca Rodriguez, a Brazilian model, and he wanted the whole world to know it.
Honestly, since meeting her, everything else in my life is sort of right-sized. I found the thing I didn't know what I was looking for.
He told USA Today, "I'm a very married person, and I love my wife to death. We'll be together forever." In the same interview, Grimes gushed about Rodriguez, who reportedly calls him Anjo, meaning angel in her native Portuguese. Grimes appreciates it, but admits, "There's no way I earn it. I do my best, but I'm a flawed, big ol' weird-ass man. She's the real angel here." Ever since they got married, Grimes has been unabashed about his passion for his wife. When asked about his proudest achievement, the actor said, "Convincing my wife to marry me, I think. That's been the best choice I've ever made." Since tying the knot, Grimes and Rodriguez have focused on building a life together and a family. The couple welcomed a son, Rigel Grimes, in October 2024. As Grimes told People, "It's brought me and my wife close in a way that I didn't know we could be." Although many actors choose to live in New York or LA, Grimes realized that his heart lies in Montana. During his time filming Yellowstone, Grimes developed a passion for the state. He explained, "I started falling in love with it little by little, and then I started noticing it felt weird to leave and go back to Los Angeles. It's like I slowly started switching gears." But the real push didn't happen until Yellowstone returned to filming during the COVID-19 pandemic. Grimes recalled, "The options were come to Montana the whole time or don't come at all." Ultimately, he and Rodriguez decided to go all in. They moved to Montana and started a new life there. As Grimes proudly shared, "We built a house, and it's the best place I've ever lived." Part of the reason why Montana appealed so much to Grimes and Rodriguez had to do with the state's unparalleled natural beauty. Before moving there, Grimes wasn't even sure that places that stunning could even exist. He told Men's Health, "It's like nothing looks like that in real life." Or so I thought. Ultimately, Yellowstone and Montana opened Grimes' mind in ways he never could have imagined. As he told People, "I was never a cowboy. I'd never ridden horses. I'd never lived in the West. Now I live in Montana. I mean, it really does inform a lot of things about who I am." In 2022, Grimes lost his father, the one man who had always believed in him. In his interview with Mr. Feelgood, Grimes opened up about some of his struggles following his dad's death. He confessed, "It's a new thing to navigate, losing a parent, and also a new chapter in your life. There's something about parents that tether you to this earth and to this experience." For Grimes, one of the hardest parts about facing this loss was coming to terms with everything that his dad had meant to him. He explained it, saying, "I think when you have him around, you kind of take him for granted a little bit, and not having him here anymore made me really go back and hold on so dear to some of those memories and just remembering who he was." Grimes admitted that his father taught him some of the lessons that have helped him most in life, revealing, "He taught me that you can be strong without having an ego, and you can be a leader and still be humble and still be kind." Sadly, though, he didn't always take the chance to express those things to his dad while he was still alive, sharing, "Those are the things that I didn't notice as much as I do now." Even as Grimes was busy pursuing a career as an actor, he never let go of his love for music. His years of playing the drums in his childhood church band were never far from his mind, and from time to time, he would even try his hand at songwriting. Still, the idea of actually pursuing a career in the music industry didn't seem possible to him until his manager reached out. The way Grimes remembered it, he said, "Is that something you'd really want to try? We talked for a couple years before I actually decided to do it and went ahead with my meeting and the labels and all that." Despite some of his initial reservations, Grimes ended up deciding to give music a go. He launched a career in country music, booking gigs all across the US. Of course, hitting the road came with its own challenges. He shared, "The touring thing is new. I'm still working it out. It's hard to eat right when you're on a bus and you're hitting cities you've never been to and you're only there for a few hours before you have to get back on the bus."
Airports are rough, everybody knows that. It's hard to eat good in an airport.
While living on the road can certainly be tricky, Grimes has focused on the upsides, adding, "I like writing songs. I like acting. I'm going to try my best to just keep doing those things." 2026 started out promising to be a big year for Luke Grimes, both in terms of acting and his music. On February 13th, he took to Instagram to make an announcement about his country music career. He posted a photograph of himself with a guitar, along with the caption reading, "I'm excited to finally announce that my new album, Redbird, will be coming out on April 3rd. The first song we are releasing, Love You Now, is out today on all platforms."
In a lot of southern states, when you see a redbird or cardinal, it means that someone you've lost is coming back to visit you.
The album was an important moment in Grimes' career, proof that he was willing to dedicate himself to his music in a whole new way. Beyond Grimes' musical achievements, he started out 2026 looking forward to the release of Marshalls. The Yellowstone spinoff proved that fans were still hungry for more Dutton family stories.
No matter where I go, I end up on the wrong side of the fence.
Well, if you don't like the path you're on, you have the power to change course.
In Marshalls, Grimes reprises the role of Casey Dutton, but where the original show focused on Casey's life on his family's Montana ranch, the new show picks up years after Yellowstone, with Casey, a widower, building a new life as a U.S. Marshal.
So Yellowstone's gone. Same for most of my family. And as for vengeance, day's still young.
Talking with People, Grimes said, "I don't think the fans wanted Yellowstone to be over. A lot of us actors kind of didn't want it to be over, and the studio and network certainly didn't want it to be over. It turns out it's not. In Marshalls, the Yellowstone universe lives on."